What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Apple TV Plus new series, Servant. Hey, before you watch this review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you would like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. First up, I would like to say thank you to Apple TV Plus for granting me the screener to the first 3 episodes of this new show, which premieres November 28th. For a while now, since The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, Night Shyamalan has become sort of like a brand name when it comes to mysteries, suspense, and stories with twist ending. So because of that, because this show relies heavily on those twists and reveals, this video review will be spoiler-free. I repeat, there will be no spoilers in this review. But I tell you this much, Servant is not a scary thriller at all. At least not like the trailer makes it out to be. In fact, I would file Servant under the category of dark comedy. Maybe the show doesn't purposely intend it to come off that way, but there's a lot about Servant that will have you cracking up. Starring Toby Kebbell, Lauren Ambrose, Nell and Rupert Grint, Servant is created by writer-executive producer Tony Basgallop, with the pilot episode directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It's a half-hour-long psychological series about a Philadelphia couple, the Turners, who are still recuperating from their unspeakable tragedy that happened weeks earlier. It causes a rift in their marriage, but then opens the door for a mysterious force to enter their home in the form of a nanny named Leanne Grayson, played by Nell, who's been hired to take care of the Turner's baby, Jericho. Now, you've seen the trailer for Servant, right? So it's not really a spoiler when I say to you that the baby is a doll. It's in the trailer. What's up with the doll, you might ask? I guess it's kind of like a therapeutic thing. At least that was the hope. So in Dorothy Turner's mind, she never lost her baby. That part of her memory is blocked out, and she carries around this doll like it's her own. And then the nanny arrives, and something miraculous happens by the end of the first episode. Let me leave it at that. In the second episode, titled Wood, enters Rupert Grint's character Julian, who's also shocked by what had just occurred. So Julian and Sean, who in this episode seems to be experiencing the attack of the splinters, they start making plans to get to the bottom of this and find some answers. The third episode, titled Eel, is somewhat of an extension of that, as Julian takes it upon himself to track down the origin of this mysterious nanny. The reason why I call Servant a dark comedy is because the interactions and the banters between Sean and Julian, whenever they go frantic or argue or try to hide things from Dorothy, is really funny. And both Toby Kebbell and Rupert Grint have excellent timing, and they're really good at their back and forth repertoire. The dynamic between those two gives out the vibe of an unlikely buddy comedy. Toby Kebbell in this one is so damn convincing as a chef. He must have studied or shadowed an actual professional, because how he works his way in the kitchen is impressive. This is definitely not the Rupert Grint that you remember from the Harry Potter franchise. His character Julian has his sister's best interest at heart, but Julian can also be described as one of those rich folks that looks down on others, and he probably also loves to shoot up cocaine. There's a hint of bad boy in Rupert Grint's performance. Now, you may have recognized the actress who plays the nanny from her short stint on Game of Thrones, but Nell is incredibly sublime in her performance here as the mostly quiet, mostly soft-spoken nanny Leanne Grayson, because she does a marvelous job of making us continuously wonder if Leanne is insincere or if Leanne is genuine. Nell here does a balancing act between looking gullible and looking like she has an agenda. I've been a big fan of Lauren Ambrose since 6 Feet Under series years ago, and in this series, Servant, Lauren is absolutely brilliant as Dorothy Turner, who's both tragic and lively and occasionally tethering on the edge of mental breakdown. These first 3 episodes have an objective, which is to plant the seed of doubt among the characters and for you, the audience, to raise questions. A big chunk of the story happens within the walls of that upper middle house. The show often plays around with shadows and silhouettes, especially when the characters go down to the wine cellar. It's definitely Hitchcockian in its tone. The cinematography has a habit of closing in on the characters' faces and point of sight. It's like trapping them, like they have nowhere else to go. Let me tell you, it's not easy to put the pieces of the puzzle together because the show is not making itself easy for you to figure things out. But that is also the reason why I think you'll be coming back for more. On top of the joy of watching these characters tiptoe around each other and press each other's buttons, it does get spooky, it does get surprising, and it sure as hell does get funny. But one thing for sure, with each passing episode, I bet you can't wait to see what happens next on Servant.